Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a dense, ancient forest, there was a tale that sent shivers down the spines of the locals. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, the villagers would gather around the flickering flames of a bonfire, eager to hear the haunting tale that had been passed down through generations. The story unfolded in a time long ago, when the moon hung heavy in the ink-black sky, its pale glow illuminating the twisted branches of the gnarled trees that stood sentinel at the forest's edge. The village, enveloped in an eerie stillness, awaited the nightly visitation of the night ghost. Legend had it that the night ghost was a wandering soul, forever bound to the earthly realm by a tragic fate. No one knew the origin of this spectral entity, but tales of its appearance sent shivers down the spine of even the bravest villagers. They spoke of a shadowy figure, clad in tattered garments that billowed in the wind, with eyes that glowed like two ethereal orbs. The villagers believed that the night ghost emerged only on nights when the moon hung low, casting an otherworldly glow over the landscape. It was said to roam the forest, its ethereal whispers carrying through the air like a haunting melody. Those who ventured too close to the forest's edge claimed to have heard the ghostly murmurs, words that seemed to beckon them into the darkness. The tale was passed down from elders to children, a cautionary narrative meant to dissuade anyone from straying too far from the safety of their village after sunset. As the bonfire crackled and the night air grew colder, the storyteller, an elderly woman with wisdom etched into the lines of her weathered face, began to weave the chilling narrative. In a time long past, she began, her voice carrying a weight of years and experience, there lived a young villager named Elias. He was known for his curiosity and fearlessness, a trait that would eventually lead him to the very heart of the night ghost's domain. Elias, the storyteller continued, had grown up listening to the tales of the night ghost but dismissed them as mere superstitions. One fateful night, driven by a desire to prove his bravery, he decided to venture into the forbidden forest, guided only by the glow of the moon. As Elias delved deeper into the shadowy depths of the ancient woods, the trees seemed to close in around him, their branches forming a twisted canopy that blocked out the moonlight. Strange sounds echoed through the stillness, the rustling of unseen creatures and the haunting cries of night birds. Undeterred, Elias pressed on, his lantern casting feeble light on the gnarled roots that crisscrossed the forest floor. The storyteller paused, allowing the tension to settle among the huddled villagers. The flickering flames cast eerie shadows on their faces as they hung on her every word. Elias walked for what felt like hours, guided only by the whispers that seemed to beckon him deeper into the heart of the forest. The air grew colder, and the atmosphere thickened with an otherworldly energy. It was then that he saw it, a faint, ghostly figure gliding through the trees, its eyes glowing like twin orbs in the darkness. Gasps escaped the lips of the villagers as the storyteller continued, her voice a mere whisper that carried the weight of the supernatural tale. The night ghost turned towards Elias, and a chilling silence fell over the forest. Time itself seemed to freeze as the two locked eyes. Elias felt a wave of icy dread wash over him, but he couldn't tear his gaze away. The ghostly figure spoke, its voice a haunting melody that echoed through the trees. The storyteller's words hung in the air, the silence broken only by the crackling of the bonfire. The villagers huddled closer, captivated by the tale. The night ghost revealed its tragic tale to Elias, a tale of lost love, betrayal, and a curse that bound it to the forest for all eternity. Moved by the ghost's sorrowful words, Elias vowed to help free the spirit from its spectral prison. Together, they embarked on a perilous journey to unravel the mysteries that bound the night ghost to the mortal realm. As the storyteller wove the narrative of Elias and the night ghost, the villagers were transported to a world where the boundaries between the living and the supernatural blurred. The forest became a realm of enchantment, where ancient secrets lay hidden among the twisted roots and moss-covered stones. The duo faced countless challenges, riddles posed by mischievous spirits, treacherous paths guarded by ancient guardians, and the ever-present sense of being watched by unseen eyes. Yet, Elias pressed on, determined to free the night ghost from its spectral chains. The villagers held their breath as the story unfolded, their imaginations conjuring the ethereal landscapes described by the storyteller. The bonfire flickered, casting elongated shadows that danced along the edges of their collective imagination. As Elias and the night ghost delved deeper into the heart of the forest, they discovered an ancient shrine hidden beneath the canopy of ancient trees. The shrine, adorned with symbols of a forgotten era, held the key to breaking the curse that bound the spirit to the earthly realm. The storyteller's voice quivered with a mix of suspense and excitement as she described the climactic moment when Elias, guided by the wisdom of the night ghost, performed a ritual that would release the spirit from its ghostly shackles. The air crackled with energy as Elias recited the ancient incantations, the words resonating with the power of centuries. The night ghost hovered before the shrine, its form flickering like a candle in the wind. The forest seemed to hold its breath as the ritual reached its zenith. With a blinding burst of light, the curse was broken, and the night ghost was freed from its spectral prison. The villagers listened with bated breath as the storyteller described the poignant farewell between Elias and the spirit that had haunted the forest for centuries. Elias watched as the night ghost, now bathed in a soft, ethereal glow, ascended towards the moonlit sky. The whispers that had once beckoned him into the darkness now carried a sense of gratitude and peace. The forest, once shrouded in an otherworldly stillness, came alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures and the gentle rustling of leaves. The bonfire crackled as the storyteller concluded the tale, her words lingering in the night air. The villagers sat in a hushed silence, their hearts still echoing with the emotions of the story. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its silvery glow over the rapt faces of the listeners. And so, the legend of the night ghost became a timeless tale in the village, passed down through the generations. It served as a reminder that courage, compassion, and understanding could unravel even the most mysterious and haunted of destinies. As the villagers dispersed, making their way back to their homes through the narrow cobblestone streets, a subtle breeze whispered through the trees at the edge of the forest. The ancient guardians, once enigmatic and foreboding, now seemed to nod in approval, their gnarled branches swaying in the moonlit night. And so, the night concluded, leaving the village wrapped in a blanket of tranquility, the echoes of the night ghost's tale lingering in the hearts of those who had dared to listen.
Story 2.
Once upon a time, in a small, forgotten village nestled between ancient woods and misty mountains, there was a tradition that gripped the hearts of its residents every full moon. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the villagers would gather around a crackling bonfire, their faces illuminated by its warm glow. It was on these moonlit nights that an old storyteller named Elias would take center stage, spinning tales that sent shivers down the spines of those huddled together in the darkness. On this particular night, the air was thick with anticipation as the villagers gathered around the flickering flames. Elias, with his weathered face and a mop of silver hair, stepped forward. His eyes, wise and gleaming, held the secrets of 1,000 stories. Tonight, Elias began, his voice a low, melodic hum. I shall tell you a tale that has been whispered through the generations, a story of the night ghost. The villagers exchanged nervous glances, but their curiosity overcame their fear, and they leaned in closer. Long ago, Elias continued, there was a young woman named Isabella. She lived on the outskirts of the village in a cottage surrounded by ancient oak trees. Isabella was known for her kind heart and gentle spirit, but there was something mysterious about her. She had a connection with the supernatural, a gift that had been passed down through her family for centuries. As Elias spoke, the shadows seemed to dance around the bonfire, casting eerie shapes on the faces of the enthralled audience. One fateful night, Elias continued, a thick fog blanketed the village, and the moon cast an otherworldly glow upon the land. Isabella, feeling an inexplicable pull, ventured into the heart of the forest. The ancient trees whispered ancient secrets, and the air hummed with an unseen energy. The crackling of the bonfire and the rustling of leaves in the forest created an eerie symphony, heightening the suspense. As Isabella delved deeper into the woods, Elias narrated, she began to sense a presence, a spectral figure that moved in the shadows. The night ghost, as it came to be known, was a creature that walked the line between the living and the dead, a guardian of the ancient woods. The villagers gasped, their eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. Isabella, guided by an unseen force, followed the ethereal figure through the labyrinth of trees. The night ghost spoke to her in hushed whispers, revealing the forgotten history of the village and the spirits that dwelled within the woods. As the night unfolded, Isabella learned of a curse that had befallen the land, a curse that could only be broken by a selfless act of courage. Elias paused, letting the weight of his words settle upon the attentive audience. Isabella, driven by compassion and a deep love for her village, embarked on a perilous journey to lift the curse. Along the way, she encountered supernatural beings, faced trials that tested her spirit, and discovered the true power of the night ghost. Together, they confronted the malevolent force that held the village in its grasp. The fire crackled louder as Elias's storytelling reached its climax, the shadows now dancing with an intensity that mirrored the village's emotions. In a climactic battle between light and darkness, Elias proclaimed, Isabella, with the night ghost by her side, unleashed a force that shattered the curse. The fog lifted, and the moonlight bathed the village in a cleansing glow. The spirits of the ancient woods, freed from their restless slumber, ascended to the heavens, leaving behind a tranquil and rejuvenated land. The villagers sat in silence, absorbing the tale that had unfolded before them. Elias, his eyes still gleaming with ancient wisdom, spoke once more. And so, he concluded, the night ghost became a guardian spirit, watching over the village and ensuring that the bond between the living and the supernatural remained unbroken. And to this day, on every full moon, we gather to remember the courage of Isabella and the enduring magic of the night ghost. As Elias's words faded into the night, the villagers looked at one another with a newfound appreciation for the mysteries that surrounded them. The bonfire's embers glowed softly, casting a warm light on their faces, and the once foreboding shadows seemed to retreat. And so, with the tale of Isabella and the night ghost etched into their hearts, the villagers dispersed into the night, carrying with them the magic of the ancient woods and the enduring spirit of courage that lived on in the shadows of midnight.